A very fond memory I have as a kid. Well, I suppose this kind of groups many memories together. Point is, I went hiking a lot, and while it was really cool to be on the way to the destination, sort of the summit or the end point of the journey, once I actually got there, I enjoyed it so much more than just sifting through the trees because you got to see the expanse laid out all before you. That one part of your trail that you were at the beginning or towards the middle of your journey, it seems so far away. And yet it's like you're on top of the world. Everything around you is just there for you to gaze at in awe. I miss hiking for this very reason because you just get to take in the world around you for what it is. It's easy to see things so differently when you're on the ground, but when you're above it or even farther away, something about it is just so special. What is less special, however, is the way I might ruin this for you. This is Night of the King's Cabinet podcast, and this is my segment where I like to talk about things from a meta-philosophical perspective. It might sound a bit pretentious because it's kind of how philosophy is, but I also really enjoy it to death, so you get to listen to me ramble on about this for about 5 minutes a pop. So sit back and enjoy, because I want to talk about landscapes. Humanity has spent so much time in nature throughout its existence, and it's part of why we just enjoy it so much. We like seeing and being within it, and it can be exciting. Something that I mentioned in a prior video was that we often seek to control what is around us. We want consistency. Now, nature, if you've spent 5 minutes researching it, it ain't so pretty all the time. Things are constantly in flux. There's life, death, order, and chaos. And yes, this will be a common theme I keep referring to in these videos, so get used to it. That we try to maintain what we have, but ultimately it's going to be for nothing, because eventually it one day will fade. You will eventually turn to dust. But that's how it is, and to accept nature for that and to see it as is, there's this tantalizing beauty to it. Especially when you consider that for landscape paintings, you're taking a chaotic moment, or this can even apply to any photo, like at a family gathering, where everyone's bustling around, they're around the kitchen table, they're in the living room, everyone's having a grand old time, or maybe not if you don't like your family. Everything, for a moment, stays still. You can pick out the little details here and there of whatever's going on in the image. That's what makes it so compelling to look at a landscape. To take the chaos around us in the home, in nature, wherever we are, and freeze it for a moment and bring it into order. That we can see what around us we may have missed. It can help us piece everything together and help us make sense of the world. The thing about memory is that it's incomplete. Sure, you might remember what you had for breakfast this morning. You might remember you saw that white sedan on your way to work. But you're not going to remember every little thing. Even specific or particular interactions with other people. Your brain will do its best to piece together what happened, but it's never going to be complete. As I'm sure many of you are aware, children and babies especially, they're not going to remember most of what happened in those early years. Their brain just isn't developed enough. But that can also go for adults too, where you might not remember having that conversation with your coworker about that important deadline. Or you might forget that, oh, I had an assignment due in college. Of course, because of course it's on Blackboard, and Blackboard is the worst. I don't have PTSD, I swear. Once we are able to pause the chaos and bring it into order, we're able to see things as they truly are. Like I mentioned with the crashing waves, you might not have seen that there were animals jumping out of the water. You might not see the little people walking in the trail in the mountains. But this even applies to our lives. You might not notice that someone's trying to help you, and amidst all the craziness going on around you, you couldn't see it. If only you were able to pause time and just take it all in one frame at a time, you'd be so much better off. Unfortunately, we can't freeze time. The best we can do is recollect it from the past in hopes of making a better future. And I think this is what's at the core of many landscapes, where, yes, we can finally pause the chaos of nature and see it for what it truly is, but that's also us. It's not just deserts, mountains, tundras. That's the human experience. We see this in ourselves. And I think that's part of what makes landscapes and just nature in general and viewing it from a sort of outside perspective so compelling. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, seeing the forest from the trees. Thing is, if you're so granular with everything, you'll never be able to see how one detail affects everything else. And that's true of anything in life. I think that's enough about me rambling on about landscapes, of all things. If you like what you just heard, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TKCRG2021 so you never miss a new upload. And please follow Joker and I on Twitch. That's JokerP598 and that one Jackal Sniper 117. Peace out, guys. See you in the next one.